Have you ever found yourself wide awake at 2 a.m., staring at the ceiling, wondering why your body just won't rest? The room is quiet. The clock keeps ticking. You toss to one side, then the other, and before you know it, the sun is peeking through the curtains, and you've barely slept at all. And here's the thing, it's not just about feeling tired the next day. You know it, and deep down, you can feel it. Poor sleep chips away at more than just your energy. It fogs your memory, dulls your mood, slows your steps, and makes even simple tasks feel like a challenge. For many seniors, one bad night turns into weeks, then months, and it starts stealing joy from the moments you should be enjoying most. I've spoken to so many people in your shoes. People who were once sharp, steady, and active, but after a night of broken sleep, they found themselves dragging through the day, avoiding outings, and feeling just a little less like themselves. And it's heartbreaking, because it doesn't have to be this way. That's why I want you to stay with me for the next few minutes. Because today, you're going to discover a simple, natural method that has been quietly helping seniors drift into deeper, more peaceful sleep in as little as 3 nights. It's something you can make right in your own kitchen, using one humble ingredient you've probably had in your cupboard for years, ginger. And I'm not just going to tell you what to do. I'm going to explain why it works, so you can understand exactly what's happening in your body. Plus, I'll give you a few extra bedtime tweaks that, when paired with this method, can completely transform your nights, and your mornings. But before we dive in, I want you to do something for me. Right now, in the comments, type "I'm ready to sleep better." Because saying it out loud, even in the form of a few words, is the first step to actually making it happen. And if you're new here, make sure to subscribe to Elderly Wisdom Guide, because this is where we talk about the things that truly make a difference in your golden years. And listen, what I'm about to share might surprise you. Because if you keep ignoring poor sleep, it's not just about being a little tired. It's about your heart health, your balance, and your independence. I've seen it too many times. A few restless nights turn into a fall, a hospital stay, or a decline you never saw coming. That's why, when you're done watching, I want you to check the link in the description for the 29 days to reclaim your confidence challenge. It's helping seniors everywhere rebuild energy, stability, and peace of mind before it's too late. So, let's talk about why ginger, of all things, might just be the missing piece between you and the deep, healing rest your body's been begging for. I want to start with a story. Not long ago, I was speaking with a woman named Diane. She's 74 years old, bright smile, sharp mind, the kind of person you instantly feel comfortable around. But there was something behind her eyes, a tiredness. She told me, "I can't remember the last time I slept through the night. Maybe 10, 15 years ago. I just assumed it's part of getting older." And for years, that's what she believed. She'd wake at midnight, then again at 3 a.m., sometimes lying awake for hours, listening to the quiet. She told herself it was just age and learned to live with it. But as we talked, I could see it wasn't just about being tired. She admitted her memory wasn't as sharp, her balance felt a little off, and her mood, well, she said she felt more irritable than she used to. That's when I gently explained something important, that poor sleep isn't just an inconvenience, and it's not simply a normal part of aging. There's often something deeper going on. You see, as we get older, our bodies go through changes we can't always see, but we can feel. Hormones like melatonin, the one that helps signal to your brain that it's time to sleep, start to decrease. Our circadian rhythm, that natural clock inside us, can shift. Medications we take for other conditions can interfere with deep rest. Even something as simple as changes in digestion or nighttime trips to the bathroom can break the sleep cycle. But here's the thing. While these changes are common, they don't mean you're doomed to sleepless nights forever. And that's where the biggest misunderstanding comes in. So many seniors believe poor sleep is just something they have to accept, like wrinkles or gray hair. But that's not true. Sleep can be improved at any age if you know what's causing the disruption and address it in the right way. One of the first steps I recommend, and this might sound simple, but it's powerful, is to track your sleep for a week. Write down when you go to bed, when you wake up, and how many times you wake during the night. Note what you had for dinner, whether you took naps, and how much activity you got during the day. You'd be amazed at how quickly patterns begin to appear. Once you can see those patterns, it becomes much easier to pinpoint what's keeping you up, and to take steps to change it. Because the truth is, your body still wants to rest deeply. Sometimes it just needs the right conditions to get back there. And that's where natural remedies, like the ginger method I'm about to share, can make such a difference. They work with your body's natural rhythms instead of against them, gently helping you drift into the kind of deep, healing rest you might have thought was gone for good. That brings me to something I learned from a man I used to live next door to, Mr. Harris. He was in his early 80s, sharp dresser, always had a kind word for everyone. Every evening, just as the sun dipped below the trees, I'd see him in his kitchen window, holding a small pot over the stove. At first, I thought it was just another cup of tea to pass the time before bed. But one day, I asked him about it. He smiled and said, "It's my secret. Haven't had a sleepless night in over 20 years. I laughed, thinking he was joking. But he wasn't. His secret? Fresh ginger tea. Nothing fancy, just a few slices of ginger simmered in water. Now, I'll admit, I thought it was one of those old habits passed down through generations, more about comfort than actual science. But curiosity got the better of me, and I started looking into it. What I found amazed me. Ginger is more than just a spice you toss into cookies or soup. It's packed with powerful antioxidants and compounds, the most famous one being gingerol, that work quietly in the background, reducing inflammation in your body. Why does that matter for sleep? Because inflammation can cause aches, restlessness, and even interfere with your nervous system's ability to relax. And that's not all. Ginger helps soothe digestion, which is something many seniors struggle with at night. Ever notice how an unsettled stomach can keep you tossing and turning? Ginger calms that. It also has a gentle, warming effect that naturally relaxes muscles and signals to your body that it's time to slow down. Think of it as a friendly nudge to your system. Hey, it's bedtime now. Let's unwind. The funny thing is, most people think of ginger only when they're feeling sick, for nausea, colds, or maybe a sore throat. But the truth is, its benefits go far beyond that. When used at the right time, in the right way, it can become part of a nightly ritual that tells your body it's safe to rest, and stay resting. Now, if you're going to try this, here's one important tip: use fresh ginger root, not the powdered spice you find in a jar. Powdered ginger has its uses, but fresh root contains more active compounds, giving you the full calming effect your body needs. Just a small knob of ginger can make all the difference. But remember, it's not just what you take that matters. It's how you take it that can truly unlock its power. So, let's talk about exactly how to make this work for you. The ginger bedtime method is simple, but don't let that fool you. When done right, it can set the stage for some of the best sleep you've had in years. Here's how you do it, step by step. First, take a fresh piece of ginger root, about the size of your thumb, and slice 4 or 5 thin pieces. You don't have to peel it unless you want to. The flavor and the benefits are in the skin too, so it's perfectly fine to leave it on. Next, place those slices into a small pot with about 1½ cups of water. Bring it to a gentle boil and let it bubble away for around 10 minutes. This isn't just to heat the water, the warmth draws out ginger's natural oils and powerful compounds, turning that clear water into a golden, soothing brew. After 10 minutes, turn off the heat and let it cool just enough so it's comfortable to sip. This is where you can add a little extra magic. Stir in a teaspoon of raw honey, if you're not diabetic, for a touch of natural sweetness. Honey isn't just for taste. It helps keep your blood sugar steady through the night, which can prevent those early morning wake-ups. Then, sprinkle in a pinch of cinnamon. Cinnamon gently boosts circulation, helping your muscles relax and your body feel warm, calm, and ready for rest. Now, timing is important. Sip your tea slowly, about 30 to 45 minutes before you plan to sleep. That gives your body time to start relaxing without rushing you to the bathroom the minute you lie down. One of the most common mistakes people make with evening drinks, even healthy ones, is having them too close to bedtime. You might drift off beautifully, only to wake up an hour later because your bladder had other plans. That's why that 30 to 45-minute window is so important. It gives you the benefits of the ginger without the midnight interruptions. And there's one more thing I want you to remember: this tea is powerful, but it's not magic all by itself. If you really want to transform your nights, you'll need to combine it with one more step, something simple, but incredibly effective, that will take your results to the next level. You see, I once suggested this ginger tea method to a dear friend of mine, Margaret. She was in her early 70s, sharp as a tack, and determined to fix her restless nights. She followed my instructions exactly: fresh ginger, 10-minute boil, honey, cinnamon, the works. But 2 weeks later, she told me, "It's nice, but I'm still tossing and turning." So, I asked her to walk me through her evenings. And that's when it clicked. Margaret was drinking her tea, but at the same time, she had every light in the house blazing. She was scrolling through her tablet, answering emails, and even watching TV until the moment she climbed into bed. Her body was being soothed, but her brain was still on high alert. The truth is, ginger tea can't work in a vacuum. If your environment and habits are telling your body, it's still daytime, your brain won't release enough melatonin, the hormone that signals it's time to sleep. Science shows that light exposure, room temperature, and stress hormones all have a direct impact on how quickly you fall asleep and how deeply you stay asleep. So, here's how to give ginger tea the perfect stage to work its magic. First, dim your lights about an hour before bed. You don't need to sit in darkness, but softer, warmer light tells your body the day is winding down. Second, avoid screens for at least 30 minutes before sleeping. That means phones, tablets, and televisions. The blue light they emit acts like a wake-up call to your brain, even if you feel tired. Third, keep your bedroom cool and quiet. For most people, a room temperature between 60 and 67 degrees Fahrenheit is ideal. That drop in temperature signals your body that it's nighttime, helping you drift off faster. Fourth, right after you finish your tea, try a few gentle stretches or slow breathing exercises. This doesn't need to be anything complicated, maybe just reaching your arms overhead, rolling your shoulders, or taking slow, deep breaths for 5 minutes. It calms the nervous system and primes you for rest. Now, here's a common misconception I see in so many seniors. We think we can multitask right up until bedtime, paying bills, organizing tomorrow's plans, maybe even folding laundry, and then simply fall asleep on command. But the brain doesn't work that way. It needs a clear signal, a period of winding down, so it can shift from problem-solving mode into sleep mode. If you combine the ginger bedtime method with these habits, you're not just helping your body relax, you're training your brain to expect and welcome sleep. Still, there's one last mistake I see seniors make that can undo all of your efforts, no matter how perfect your tea and routine might be. You see, a viewer emailed me not too long ago, saying, "I tried your ginger tea for 3 nights, no luck. I still woke up at 3 a.m. staring at the ceiling." Naturally, I was curious. So I wrote back and asked a simple question: "Tell me exactly what you ate or drank in the 2 hours before bed." Her answer explained everything. It turned out she was enjoying a late-night plate of fried chicken wings with a side of chocolate cake, a combination her grandchildren had brought over as a treat. Here's the thing. Even the most powerful natural remedies can be undone by what we put into our bodies before sleep. It's not that ginger stops working, it's that your body is too busy fighting the effects of heavy, greasy, or sugary foods to focus on rest. Let's talk science for a moment. When you eat foods high in fat or sugar close to bedtime, two things happen. First, your digestive system has to work overtime. That means instead of slowing down for rest, your body is still in processing mode for hours. Second, sugary foods spike your blood sugar levels. That spike is often followed by a crash in the middle of the night, triggering your brain to wake you up, even if you've only been asleep for a few hours. And for older adults, that's an even bigger issue. Our metabolism slows with age, and our tolerance for late-night indulgences decreases. What you used to eat at 9 p.m. without a problem in your 40 can now cause hours of restlessness in your 60 or 70. If you really need a snack before bed, the goal is to keep it light and gentle on the stomach. Something like a ripe banana, a handful of unsalted almonds, or even a small bowl of oatmeal can give you just enough without sending your digestion into overdrive. Because here's the uncomfortable truth. Small, unnoticed choices, like that extra cookie or salty leftovers before bed, don't just make for a restless night. They stack up over weeks and months, snowballing into lower energy, more daytime fatigue, and even reduced independence. That's exactly why my 29 Days to Reclaim Your Confidence challenge focuses on the tiny daily habits that quietly shape your health. These habits work together to rebuild your energy, restore your balance, and protect your independence before they slip away. The link is in the description. I encourage you, don't let the little things keep you from the big results you deserve. I want you to picture something for me. It's tomorrow morning. The sun is barely peeking through the curtains. You open your eyes, and there's no groggy fog in your mind. No heavy weight in your limbs. You take your first steps of the day, and they're steady, confident, almost effortless. That is not a fantasy. That is your body's natural state when it's fully rested. And you can reclaim it, not in years, not even in months, but starting tonight. I know for some of you, the doubt creeps in right away. I've tried before. I'm too old to change. Maybe my body just can't do it anymore. But here's the truth, every single one of us has a built-in repair system. It's still in you. The problem isn't that it's broken, it's that we've stopped giving it the right conditions to work. And that's what these nightly habits are, the conditions for repair. They're like turning on the power to a machine that's been idling for years. Once the current flows, the healing starts. So, here's what I'm asking, don't just listen to this and think, good advice. Tonight, actually do it. Brew that tea. Turn off the bright screens. Let your mind soften before bed. It's not just about sleeping longer, it's about waking up to a life that feels steady and worth living every single day. If you feel like you've been running on empty for too long, the 29 Days to Reclaim Your Confidence challenge is my invitation to you. Step by step, day by day, we'll rebuild not just your sleep, but your energy, your balance, and your confidence. And yes, I will walk beside you the whole way. Because you don't have to keep living with just enough rest. You can live with full rest, deep rest, the kind that makes you stronger for the people and moments that matter most. Now, are you ready to start tonight? Because your first step is waiting, and your best mornings are closer than you think. So, let's bring it all together. We've talked about the why so many seniors lose sleep as the years go by. We've uncovered ginger's quiet but powerful benefits, not just for soothing digestion, but for calming the body and mind. We've gone step by step on how to prepare it so you're getting the most from every cup. We've layered in the habits that make it work better, dimming the lights, quieting your thoughts, and creating a true wind-down routine. And we've warned about that one big mistake that can undo it all, ignoring the signals your body is giving you. Now, I want you to pause for a moment, and think about what this could mean for you. Imagine you, a week from now, sitting at the breakfast table with clear eyes, a steady hand holding your cup, and a rested smile. That's not wishful thinking, that's the result of taking small, consistent steps, starting tonight. But here's where I need you. Have you ever tried ginger before bed? What happened? Did it calm you? Did it surprise you? Or maybe it didn't work the first time, but you found a tweak that made all the difference. Share it in the comments. Because your story might be exactly what another viewer needs to hear to finally take action. And if you found value in what we've talked about today, if it sparked a little hope, or reminded you that you can take control of your health, then make sure you subscribe to Elderly Wisdom Guide. This channel is here to make sure your golden years aren't just about getting older, but about feeling better as you do. I'm going to say this as gently as I can, but also as clearly as I must: don't wait. Don't wait for another sleepless week to rob you of the strength you could be using to live, laugh, and do what you love. Click the link in the description. Start the 29 days to reclaim your confidence challenge today. Give yourself the gift of true rest and lasting vitality. Because peaceful nights lead to powerful mornings. And powerful mornings lead to days you'll look back on with gratitude, not exhaustion. Thank you for spending this time with me. Here's to quiet nights, steady steps, and a life you're proud to wake up to. I'll see you in the next video.